Yortzeit, the birth and the Yortzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu. Zachor, Tzaddik, Livrocha, as such. Moshe's name is not mentioned in Parshas Tetzaveh. Mocheni Nami Sifrecha. But why Parshas Tetzaveh? One reason is that it is his Yortzeit. And generally speaking, the Parshas Tetzaveh falls on the week of Moshe Rabbeinu's Yortzeit. And therefore, it's not mentioned in Tetzaveh to underscore, to emphasize that Moshe Rabbeinu is nishto. Physically, he's not with us. Another consideration is, I think I saw it first from the Rosh Yeshiva, the late Rosh Yeshiva in America, from the Yeshivas Mir, Reb Birnbaum, and Zachor Tzaddik Livrocha, and he said that this week's Parsha in Tetzaveh deals with Big Day Kahuna. We want it clear that Moshe Rabbeinu did not choose Aaron to be the Kohen Gadol. He had nothing to do with the appointments for Kahuna and nothing to do with Kahuna at all. It's all HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he bedavka is not mentioned in the Parsha of Tetzaveh that speaks about Big Day Kahuna to emphasize that there's no nepotism in the Torah. Torah me'alef to tov comes only from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Zachor Torah's Moshe is that Moshe is the passive stenographer of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he is the leader of Klal Yisrael because he was appointed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He made no appointments, and that's major, especially in something of this nature. And that's why Moshe's name is not mentioned in the Torah, in this Parsha Tetzaveh. Now, I saw a mimer by Rav Brevda Zatzal, and he mentions the following, that, when we speak about what happened on Purim, on Hanukkah, on Pesach, if a person at home with your own children, or Talmidim, on whatever level, would say, erroneously, what happened on Purim? There once was a melech. He was a melech Russia. He was even worse than Haman. And then along came Haman, and they put the Jews in jeopardy, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved them. Or Hanukkah, there was Antiochus, that terrible man, and the Yevonim, and they, and they threatened to destroy Yiddishkeit, Lashkichem, Tarasechel, Mavir, Me'al, Kuker, Vitzanecha. Or Misraim, Paro, terrible person, etc., etc., enslaved the Jews. This is not the way to give it over. Never. That means that there's rishus in the world. The Jews are subject to rishus. Is there a reason? Is there rhyme? Is there reason? There certainly is no plan, no purpose, which is chas v'sholom not the way there is. We understand what happened. Listen, Rav Shimon bar Yochai made it plain to his Talmidim. There was, as far as he said, hishtachvu etzelim. The people bowed, the Yidden, in the time of Purim, they bowed to the image of Nebuchadnezzar. They were nehenu. I emphasize the word nehenu. They had benefit. They enjoyed the Mishnah of Achashverosh. This is why they started to have problems. And then Haman was given the opportunity to put them in jeopardy. And the Yevonim, this also. First of all, we see the misyavnim, the number of misyavnim that there were in the time of Hanukkah. And what went on as far as the level of acculturation and assimilation, and all that the Bach mentions in the Beis HaMikdash, even the Kohanim became nisrashal in the avoda. This is what brought the problem upon us. And then at the Pesach time, we see the Beis HaLevi explains clearly the people went over to the Egyptian side. They were losing it. But there were many, many, many who started to move towards the Egyptians. So the fact is that every time this started, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the sinner of the non-Jewish world to save us. Like we once said, and this is what brought us, that saved us. In every generation they come against us. This is the Vihi. What was it that saves the Jews? When we start moving towards the non-Jews and we become more assimilated, God forbid, then the anti-Semitism grows, and then we're placed in jeopardy. So what really occurred that we should be cognizant when we give it over is not to start from point 2 about who the major players were in that particular situation, but on the contrary, the Jews we brought the situation upon ourselves, unfortunately, and then Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was Matzileinu Miyodim. But that's the way it started. It's important. It's important our children get it straight the first time. New idea. Let's be aware, Haman's name is mentioned 54 times in the Megillah. We've mentioned it before. 54 times. Why 54 times? Reb David Kain in Perik Nun Dalet, in his Sefer on Purim, has a whole list of various reasons. One of the reasons that I talked to him about, which is not brought down there, is there are 54 Parshias in Chumash. 54. Bereshis, Noach, Lech Lecha, V'Eich, Yisrael, Til, Zos HaBracha. 54 Parshias. And Haman tried to destroy the people of the 54 Parshas. He wanted Lahashmi, Laro, Labe, all of the Jews. And therefore, we mention his name 54 times so that we can blot it out. 54, connected 54, meter connected meter. It's an interesting idea. Now, something I don't have a reason for, but I saw it brought down in this forum, is that the Megillah has 166 psukim. Psukim, 166. The Parshas in Beshalach and the Parsha in Kiseitze we're going to have for Parshas Zachor, they together have 166 words, not psukim, words. 166. When we talk about Amalek in Beshalach, Amalek in Kiseitze, together 166. And it is interesting that Halal HaGodol, which thanks to Kadosh Baruch Hu, that V'yifrekenu mitzorenu kili olam chasto. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He has redeemed us from our enemies, which that could be not just Purim, that could be all year long. V'yifrekenu mitzorenu, it's very timely all the time. So the fact, Abiyas Goel Tzedek, and it's Hashem Bimher V'yameinu, Amen, is the fact that we have 166 words as well. So we're dealing with 166 psukim in the Megillah, and we're dealing with words in the two Parshas that deal with Amalek, and the other Halal also 166. I'm sure there can be a lot to be said about it, and if someone comes up to say something really, something about it, let's, very good. It's wonderful. Now, in the remaining time, I want to speak about the idea of Chai V'inish, Livsum Puria Adelo Yoda, Ben Baruch Mordechai and Or Haman. The idea is like this. I don't have, you find here in the Ramah, well, even before the Ramah, let me share with you a quick idea. The first thing is this. The Sforim say that only Hashem is in control. When a person drinks, he realizes he's not in control. Who is? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It highlights that Hashem is in control. I can't drive the car. I can barely walk home if he does it that way. And the fact is this. If a person gets high, I see from what I see in Mishnah Berurah, if a person gets high, okay, he can drink, fine. If a person gets low, no good. There, the Ramah says, over there, that it is better, says the Ramah, Yesh Omen, de ein tzarech l'shtakir kol kach, elo yishte yoser milimudo v'yishon. And the Mishnah Berurah, the Chafetz Chaim, the Chafetz Chaim says that v'chein royal asos. Okay? Who's going to be firmer than the Chafetz Chaim? So therefore, if a person just gets high, and not going to be a problem, fine, listen. But, Gemara brings down what happened with Rav and Rav Zera. I mean, one has to be careful about these things. Kedai Li and look in the Marsha over there. But the fact is that who's going to be firmer than the Chafetz Chaim? The Shavei Tshuva brings down and he says that if a person sees Mishu Cholosh, or he's worried that maybe he'll do things that might be ma'aser or devorim shelo kahokin if he drinks something which is low and not high, don't drink. Take a little bit like the Ramah, go to sleep. You can do it that way. Clearly, in looking at the Be'er Halacha is very close to what the Nesiv Shalom says. The Nesiv Shalom darshans though from the words, but take a look at the second Be'er Halacha on this, and you see that he says this. a person should become inebriated, should become drunk. Bepuria says that in the Nesiva Shalom. It doesn't say biyayin. Bepuria, with the happiness of Purim. Become drunk with joy to think what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has done for us. He saved us from annihilation. He gave us an opportunity to have Torah now that we were Mekabel B'Ahava. What an opportunity, a change in Klal Yisrael. And therefore, I'm drunk with joy. This is what really, we take a look at the Be'er Halacha. It's a beautiful thing. Holiness, he says, is out. B'simcha shel tainach sheyagia b'toicho la'avas Hashem yizborach v'hodoa al anisim she'asa. This is the Be'er Halacha. Put it together with the Nesiva Shalom. And one can see that one can have a wonderful Purim. Le'ela, le'ela. It should be to go on a high, but not to go on a low. A guten Purim, a guten Shabbos.